Hello viewers. In this lecture, we will have more insights into the definition of failure. There are certain prerequisite concepts such as deterministic and probabilistic quantities, definition of random variable, definition of performance function in the context of reality. I don't want you to understand all these three concepts into the minutest possible details. Instead, a notional understanding of these three concepts would also do. So recall in the previous video lecture, we tried to calculate the probability of failure of a structure designed for characteristic load considering characteristic strength. For calculation, we defined certain events, event A, event B, event C, and event D, and we defined failure as occurrence of A and D together, or occurrence of B and C together, or occurrence of A and B together. Occurrence of A and D together was understood as failure due to understrength. Occurrence of B and C together was understood as failure due to overload. And occurrence of A and B together was understood as failure due to understrength and overload. However, failure due to understrength and overload as defined here is crude. To be precise, it is not very correct. We will understand that through a thought experiment. Let us consider a steel bar of 10 mm diameter hanging to a rigid roof and subjected to probabilistic force P as shown, axial force P as shown. Let us say the characteristic ultimate stress of steel is 331 MPa. That means if I test such 100 bars under uniaxial tension, at least 95 bars would show the ultimate stress value greater than or equal to 331 MPa. Probabilistic load P has its characteristic value as 25 kilonewton. That means during the 95% time of its design life, the load 25 kilonewton will not be exceeded. Now let us consider the event of failure as defined in the previous lecture, A and D. A is strength being less than characteristic strength and D is load being less than characteristic load. So therefore, I have considered ultimate stress as 200 MPa, which is less than 331 MPa, and load, which is equal to 15 kilonewton, which is less than 25 kilonewton, which is a characteristic load. Therefore, these two values simulate the failure event as per the earlier definition A and D. Now let us calculate the value of actual stress. The value of stress would be 15,000 Newton. 15 kilonewton corresponds to 15,000 Newton divided by A, that is area of cross section of this bar. Area of this cross section of this bar is pi by 4 into 10 square. This turns out to be 191 MPa. And to our surprise, this value is less than ultimate stress, that is 200 MPa, and therefore this does not depict failure. That means we understand that A and D in true sense, simultaneous occurrence of event A and D in true sense does not mean failure. It encompasses certain events, certain scenarios where the failure has not been realized. Similar argument can be done for event B and C. So therefore, the probability of failure that we worked out in the previous lecture, video lecture, is an overestimate. The next logical question to ask ourselves is, then how do we calculate the probability of failure? So to calculate the probability of failure, one has to define something called as performance function. Here I define the performance function as load minus ultimate stress into cross-sectional area of the bar A. On the right hand side, the load as well as ultimate stress, these are not deterministic quantities. They are not these are not single numbered quantities. These are random variables. So the value of load would lie within some range. Similarly, the value of ultimate stress would lie within some range. Whereas A, cross-sectional area, in this case, we are considering it as a deterministic quantity. As the performance function is subtraction of two random variables, and therefore the performance function itself is not a single number, it is not deterministic, it is probabilistic in nature. If the load is great, if the load is less than ultimate stress into A, for all such combinations of load and ultimate stress, we are going to say the structure has failed. That means we define the failure as the value of performance function dropping below 0. And therefore, probability of failure of function has to be evaluated as probability of performance function being less than 0. Naturally, this will lead to the next question. How does this discussion take us to the formulation of partial safety factors as per IS 456 2000? So we will discuss this in the next short video. Thank you.